Build Wealth That Lasts, a blueprint for turning layoffs into liftoff. By Wealthrise, Lifestyle, Introduction, the door that becomes a green light. There is a moment in every professional's life that feels like an ending. It arrives without warning. A calendar invite from HR with no agenda. A generic email. A conference room with a box of your personal belongings. Getting laid off is a door slamming shut. One day you have a title, a paycheck, and a routine. The next, you have silence. In January 2025, a 49-year-old Microsoft employee named Tatiana experienced that exact moment. After 14 years of service at one of the world's largest technology companies, she was let go. By any reasonable measure, this should have been devastating. But Tatiana felt something unexpected: relief. She later told Business Insider, "I felt it was a green light, and I was grateful." That single shift in perspective, from victim to architect, is the difference between those who merely survive a layoff and those who build wealth that lasts. Tatiana did not update her resume. She launched a company teaching executives how to command a room. She turned her expertise into equity. At Wealthrise, our slogan is lifestyle, because we believe true wealth is not just about accumulating money. It is about designing a life of freedom, security, and purpose. In the age of AI disruption and economic uncertainty, the old rules have changed. The corporate ladder is being dismantled. The safety net of a single paycheck is fraying. But for those who are prepared, this moment is not a crisis. It is the green light they have been waiting for. This essay is a step-by-step, legally sound guide to building generational wealth. It is designed specifically for those facing layoffs or seeking to escape the golden handcuffs of traditional employment. It is time to turn your setback into the foundation of your comeback. Part 1. The Financial Audit, Building Your Runway. Before you can fly, you need a runway. When you lose a salary, you lose your safety net. However, if you have been laid off, you likely possess something almost as valuable as a job: severance. Most people make a critical error at this juncture. They use their severance to maintain their previous lifestyle: dinners out, new clothes, extended vacations, in an attempt to mask the pain of transition. Wealthy people do the opposite. They view severance as capital. They use it to build a runway. The first step in building wealth that lasts is a brutally honest financial audit. Financial experts universally advise that you need to know your bare-bones burn rate. Calculate your absolute monthly essentials: rent or mortgage, utilities, food, insurance, and minimum debt payments. Multiply that number by the amount of time you realistically need to either find a new role or launch a venture. This is your runway. But here's where the Wealthrise strategy differs from conventional advice. Do not simply allocate your severance to survival. Allocate a portion specifically to skill building and validation. If you worked in data, invest in a course on AI ethics or machine learning architecture. If you were in marketing, learn prompt engineering or fractional CMO strategies. If you have a side hobby, baking, coaching, consulting, spend a small amount of money to validate whether a market exists for it. The goal is to use this forced break to upgrade your income toolkit. Furthermore, do not ignore the legal safety nets. If you're in the United States, immediately research COBRA or state health exchanges. You cannot build wealth if a single medical event breaks you financially. Protecting your physical health is the first step toward protecting your financial health. Part 2. The Entrepreneurial Pivot, 3 Legal Paths to Ownership. The landscape of work has shifted beneath our feet. According to recent labor data, over 1/3 of the U.S. workforce now engages in freelancing. The model of climbing a single corporate ladder for 40 years is obsolete. In its place is the concept of building your own lattice. For those facing layoffs, this is not a punishment, it is permission. Here are 3 legally sound, high-probability paths to transform your career capital into a business. Path 1. The freelance route. Immediate income. Total control lower. You possess skills that companies desperately need. They simply do not want to pay for your benefits or guarantee your employment anymore. This is where the fractional economy has exploded. If you were a marketing manager, you are now a fractional CMO for startups. If you were a finance director, you are now a fractional CFO for small businesses. If you managed operations, you help startups build systems. Laura Briggs, A freelancing expert who documented her own journey after a layoff noted that she realized she would rather be in control of her own paycheck than ever trust a full-time role again. The key is to update your identity immediately. You are not between jobs. You are open for business. Path 2. The Burrow 22 route. From passion to profession. Consider the story of Ryan Panchu. In 2017, he was laid off from a 12-year career in property management. He was devastated. He had a mortgage, a family, and no clear path forward. However, he had a secret weapon, a side hustle. In his kitchen, Ryan made donuts for his children, who have severe allergies. He perfected a recipe that was safe, delicious, and unique. After the layoff, a friend gave him a simple ultimatum: it's now or never. Ryan harnessed the fear of failure and turned it into energy. Today, his company Burrow 22 produces nearly 1 million donuts annually, employs 16 people, and is stocked in high-end retailers like Selfridges. Your side hustle is not a distraction from your career. It may be the destination. The layoff was simply the push you needed to take it seriously. Path 3. The consultant. Monetize your niche expertise. If you are a high earner, an attorney, a senior executive, a specialized engineer, you likely possess knowledge that is incredibly rare and valuable. Many professionals in this category are trapped by what financial planners call golden handcuffs. They stay in jobs they dislike because the money is too good to leave. Once those handcuffs are cut, you are free. You can now consult for the very companies you used to work for, but at a higher hourly rate and with significantly less bureaucracy. The key to wealth in this model is the principle of paying yourself first. If you are earning $400,000 a year and invested 20% into a diversified portfolio of index funds and bonds, you could accumulate over $1 million in a decade. Now apply that same discipline to your consulting income. Your knowledge is the asset. Your consulting practice is the vehicle. Part 3. The Legal and Investment Foundation. The science of keeping wealth. Building wealth is not just about how much you make. It is about how much you keep. The government is your silent business partner. If you are not careful, they will take the largest cut. When you transition from W-2 employee to business owner or freelancer, you unlock a suite of financial tools that were previously unavailable. Utilizing these tools legally and aggressively is the science of wealth that lasts. Tax-advantaged accounts, the Wealth Accelerator. As a self-employed individual, you have access to the Solo 401k or the SEP IRA. These vehicles allow you to contribute massive amounts of pre-tax money, sometimes up to $300,000 annually, depending on your income structure. This serves two purposes. First, it dramatically lowers your current tax bill. Second, it allows your investments to compound tax-deferred for decades. Furthermore, if you have a high-deductible health plan, you should max out a health savings account. The HSA is the only triple tax advantaged account available to Americans. You contribute pre-tax. The money grows tax-free. You can withdraw it tax-free for qualified medical expenses. In retirement, it functions as a powerful supplemental savings tool. The emergency fund, your financial airbag. Before you begin investing aggressively, you must build a fortress of cash. Every certified financial planner will give you the same advice. You need 3 to 6 months of living expenses sitting in a high-yield savings account. Think of this fund like the oxygen mask on an airplane. It is invisible and useless until the moment you desperately need it. This cash reserve is your permission slip to take risks. It allows you to turn down a bad client, negotiate for higher rates, or wait for the perfect contract. It is the foundation upon which all risky, high-reward investments are built. Asset protection. The LLC strategy. If you are starting any kind of business, even a solo consulting gig, you must form a legal entity, typically a limited liability company. An LLC is a relatively inexpensive and simple structure that protects your personal assets, your car, your house, your personal savings, from business debts and lawsuits. If a client decides to sue you, they can only go after the assets inside the LLC, not your personal home. This is not paranoia. It is basic risk management. Additionally, an LLC adds credibility to your brand and offers flexibility in how you are taxed by the IRS. Part 4. The mindset shift from victim to architect of your life. There is a psychological ceiling to wealth, and most people never break through it. That ceiling is built from a mindset of scarcity. When you are laid off, the easiest story to tell yourself is the victim narrative. The economy did this. The algorithm did this. The new CEO did this. While these factors may be true, they are not helpful. They keep you trapped in the past. To build wealth that lasts, you must adopt the mindset of an architect. You must shift from trading time for money to trading value for money. In a job, your income is limited by the hours in a day. In a business, your income is limited only by the value you create. Sean Bairn, a business advisor who works with displaced executives, notes that many of his clients were actually held back by their success. The golden handcuffs, the high salary, the bonuses, the prestige, made it impossible to leave, even though they were miserable. The layoff, he argues, is the universe cutting those handcuffs. Ryan Panchu, the donut mogul, admitted that losing his job was probably one of the scariest moments of my life. But he did not let the fear consume him. He added, "There's something to be said about turning that fear into something positive. Fear is a form of energy. Do you harness it or let it consume you? Tatiana harnessed it. Ryan harnessed it. You can too." Conclusion: the call to rise, your layoff is not your epitaph. It is your origin story. The economy is changing. AI is displacing roles. Companies are restructuring. But for those with the vision to see it, these disruptions are not walls. They are doorways. At WealthRise, we believe that true wealth is about lifestyle. It is about building a financial foundation so solid that you can design your days around what matters most: family, freedom, purpose, and peace. It is about turning the fear of a pink slip into the fuel for a legacy. If this essay has helped you see your situation in a new light, you are not alone. There is a community of builders, freelancers, and entrepreneurs waiting for you. Like this content to help others facing uncertainty find this message. Subscribe to WealthRise for weekly roadmaps to financial freedom. And share this essay with someone you know who is scared about the future. They might need a reminder that their closed door is actually a green light. We rise by lifting others. Now go build something that lasts.